Hey everybody, ASIC Eric in the garage again. Today we are going to do some more electrical stuff, get things moved around in here a little bit. I got the new standoffs for the ECM here, so we'll get that sorted out. Probably gonna tear into that shifter boot thing today, and then just keep looking at wiring. Maybe power up the harness, see how it looks. We'll see how far we get, but let's get to it. I'll show you what we got going on in there. All right, so first a reminder from last time. We bought these guys to go into the trans tunnel here, and then they were supposed to go from the other side into the ECM here, but these weren't long enough. So I tried to find some longer ones and couldn't really very easily, but then I remembered they have a different style. Which are these, like so, focus, which should work. So same thing, they're the M6, but now they've got a female in them, so that should work. So I got a set of those, and a bunch of different length bolts here, because I'm not sure what size I'm going to need. So that should work. So let's go ahead and get those in there, and hopefully we can just drop that in and consider that done. Alright, let's see how that works. Alright, there we go. Nice and snug. The original things I had were listed as 20 millimeters. So I thought I needed something longer than that, so I tried the 25s, but they don't thread those things aren't very deep. The 25s didn't work. The 25s had a couple of stood off a couple of millimeters, so I was able to get some bite into them. So we're good. So that guy's all happy now. It's not going anywhere, but it does have some shock separation there because of the little standoffs there. So we're good. Okay, on to the next thing. And of course there go the gardeners with the leaf blowers. Hopefully it's not too bad in the background there. So looking under the hood here, just trying to find any remaining stuff that is not wired up and connected. I have this set of stuff, which is a bunch of sending wires and things, and for the coil. I took some of the wires out of here knowing I wasn't going to need them, like choke power, the ignition bypass. I knew I wasn't going to need those, so I took those two out of the harness. I left the rest of them in there because I wasn't sure if I was going to need them for something. Of these, the coil power, probably the only one I care about of blocking off right now. So the coil power is the pink and black. So this one, so I'm going to cap this one off. Just going to make sure that doesn't short out against anything. These other wires are oil pressure, tack, stuff like that, which aren't really going to matter. So I'm just going to like bundle these up and just stick them out of the way for now. I've run out of my power braid, so I can't finish this wiring up under here. So I'll have to do that next time when I get more of the material. But let me go ahead and cap this off, and then I think everything is set. I have the fuel pump power back here, so I want to just, again, get that out of the way, make sure it's not hitting anything. I want to verify that it's got power when the ignition's on, and I believe everything else is okay. So if I get this taken care of, I'll get the voltmeter out and check power and grounds and stuff, make sure there's no dead shorts on anything, and then we'll see about maybe putting some power on this guy. Alright, so as I was looking at that, I realized I still have the windshield washer, pump, wiper motor stuff to go. These two are for the pulse wipers, I gather, and then you have to install this yourself. I put it up against the wiper motor there to try and see which way it would go, and I dropped it. It's down inside the engine there somewhere now. I can't find it. Luckily, there's more than one of these in the kit, so I'm not going to do that again, because I'm not really sure if this matters which way it goes on, which way this connector wants to go on the actual unit. I might look at that again, might be more careful this time, I'm not sure. But I think you can remove these things anyway, so I'll probably just put them on there. I think you can take them out if you need to anyway, so let's just do it. All right, that was a bit more of an ordeal than it should have been, but okay. We got the washer pump here, the intermittent wipers here, and then we have the the wiper power here. I forget what this one is, whatever, doesn't matter. So those are all good. So I just need to get all those bundled up and cleaned up. So that's everything there. This is what we did on this guy. The other ones just put some heat shrink on the end of it. I think that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the voltmeter out and look for shorts. All right, so we're gonna start with the obvious one here, which is the main post. Turn this around, you can see that. Yep. So go to ground, which will use the block for ground. Should be ground, make sure we have a good ground. Yep, okay. Now on the main post here, we have what? 60 k ohms, which is plenty, so no dead shorts there. On the other side, we have 50 k ohms. So this is the one that goes with the starter and the fuse block over here for the engine management. The painless harness is this one over here. So it's clean, so nothing funky going on there. All right, we've moved inside the car now. And now what we'll do is grab the big guys here. So ignition switch. So we'll check the ins and out here. So the main, I don't know the colors here, I've got to look them up, but I'm sorry, you're off screen. 1 second. That's better. Yeah, viewfinder's upside down again. So these are the main guys here. So go back to the wiring manual here. Find the ignition switch. Okay, ignition switch. We have switched power to fuse block is orange. That's this guy. So that should theoretically be the main power for everything that's depending on switched power. Ignition switch power is red. Switched power to coil fuse is pink and black. That guy, which we just masked off out there. So that shouldn't go anywhere. The 12 gauge purple and white. This goes with the neutral safety switch. We got another ignition switch power. Well, it says we have one, it's not connected to anything. And brown is accessory. Oh, there's the other one, okay. All right, so the reds are the inputs. And then these other guys, this is engine temp signal stuff. Tan and white is emergency brake. Alternator exciter. Brown and white, that one should also not go anywhere. All right, so let's take a look-see here. Where's my meter? Oh, I almost did a brilliant one out there. When I went out from under the hood, I went to take this guy, and it went flying because it was still hung up on the engine block. Went flying through the air, and I caught it in midair, otherwise it would have landed right on the front valence. Kabam! That would have been fun, big dent. But I caught it, so nothing bad happened. All right, let's see here if we can find a good ground somewhere. See, is that grounded? Is that grounded? No, not really. Need to find a better ground here. Give me a second. Is this thing grounded? The ECM? Where's a good ground when you need one? I can just hold it here, I guess, for now. So the case of the ECM is in fact grounded. There we go. We'll use that. Double check. Yep. Okay, so coming in here. So this is the red, and 56K, same thing we were reading outside there. Brown here is what? Accessory power. So we have nothing going on accessory power. It's interesting. Okay. Let's just check them all, I guess. Purple is to the neutral safety switch, nothing there. This is the coil, that's nothing, sorry. Coil power, okay, so all those are clean. Here, this should be red again, which should be 56K, sorry, yes. And orange is ignition. Is that right? Where's orange? Switched power to fuse block. It looked like that wanted to show something for a second there, but didn't. Okay. So that all looks good. I don't see anything wrong there, so... Well, let's go ahead and put some power on it. So we're going to start with using the battery charger on a very low setting, like 2 amps or something. And we'll just start probing around and see what we get. Alright, well, we're off to a good start. I connected up one of the little courtesy lights there. So I just got it set on 2 amps, but we got power there, so that's happy. So no problems there. Put this on volts, DC. So we should have, you can see that? Yeah, should have power here now. Yeah, 4 volts, fine. Okay, so that looks good. What do we want to check next? Let's check that. Well, yeah, so this works because, hey, look at that. The door switch works. Works because this works without any ignition switch on, so that is correct. So the next thing I need to do is make a jumper for this guy so I can jump it over to the ignition, and then that should give us power to the fuel pump back there. Alright, so built a little jumper here to be extra careful. It's made out of a fuse. I got a 5 amp fuse in there, just to be safe. Let's see, so we're looking for switched ignition power, which is orange. Okay, so we want this, now this is not hot yet. Okay, and then this is hot. Okay, so that should give us switched power now. Let's go check the fuel pump. Okay, we're here at the back of the car. I'm hoping I got a decent ground there. And here is the fuel pump. And nothing. Okay, gotta keep looking then. Why does that want to make contact now? Alright, well, this is my first stumper. No power here. I've been poking around inside here, and there's no power on the fuse. Other stuff works, like I checked the gauges here. The gauges get power when I put the little jumper in there, so the switched power, the orange line going back to the fuse block, seems to work. But the fuse, or the fuel pump one, nothing. So I don't know what the story is there. I'll have to call Painless and see if they have any ideas as to what might cause that, because I don't really know. I didn't check a bunch of other stuff, but at least what I checked seems to be working. There's certainly no dead shorts or anything in here, so that's good. Everything seems to be working okay in that regard. So, let's see. I might tackle this, I might not. I'm still trying to debate. I haven't really been out here that long today, and I need to get more work done, but I'm kind of stuck on this one right here, so I'm not sure where else to go. But yeah, I need to get under the car and look at that and see how much clearance I have there for cutting this thing out, because I want to make sure I don't cut into the transmission itself. Alright, well, I got that cut out. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but I think it'll work. I managed to not cut my wires in there, which is good. So get that ready. So now just have to figure out where to put the boot, and then drill some holes for that, and we'll call it a day. Okay, I've decided to go ahead and use an M4 on this. Some nice little M4s, that should be just about right. I cannot, for the life of me, find my hole punch. Everything in this garage is just disappearing, so hopefully I can get these things to start in the right place. And again, we want to be really careful because there's stuff under this. Metal chips going down in there. Okay, that one, etc., etc. All right. Hopefully this goes without incident. Again, this trans tunnel cover is not very thick, but it is thick enough to hold some threads, which is nice. Then I don't have to do nut certs or anything like that. This stuff is not going to be under a lot of stress, obviously. Good. I need to get some RTV or something to put on here to seal this. I don't think I have any right now, so I'll just stick it in place and then come back and deal with it later. At least I don't assume the cover that comes with this is going to be enough to keep it sealed properly. We'll see, maybe it is. We'll get this done and vacuum up here. Alright, we did find some ultra black, which is good. I put this guy back on. This guy has a little cut in it right here, if you can see that. I'm just gonna put some of this in there. It's pretty well sealed, it doesn't really go anywhere, but I'm just gonna kind of cover it up a little bit there to try and keep the goop, or keep any dust from getting into the transmission there. That'll be fine. We'll give this a nice little trail around here. Like so. Should be good. Do this without making a mess will be another question entirely. Slide this guy over. Yep, already made a mess. Okay. Alright, so of course, as with anything else, the tricky thing is going to be trying to line up where the bolt holes are. see what you're doing here. Let me start with this one. Sort of see where the hole is here. Sort of. Fishing around in the dark here, trying to find where the hole went. Nowhere. Yeah. Alright, let me find the holes and we'll get back here. Alright, after much consternation, we finally got all the holes lined up. That was not easy. We didn't get them all, so I'll lock it down here, see how it looks. I hate getting my hands dirty, which is funny as I spend all this time working on the cars, but I don't like dirty hands. And I got RTV all over me, which I can't stand. Slimy and sticky, and this guy kind of went in a little crooked here. That's why I was having so much trouble getting him locked down there as best I can. Alright. I don't know if that's going to be a good seal or not. It's probably okay. If not, we can always run a Beta RTV around the outside of it. I think for our purposes, that's good enough. I'm not sure if you're ever going to see this thing anyway. There's probably going to be another boot on the console that covers this up even more. But I got it. There's that guy down. So looks good. All right, we're going to call it a day there. I will try and get in touch with Painless and see if I can figure out what the story is with that fuel pump. But everything else went pretty well today. Pretty happy with it. We should see Pops next weekend, if all goes according to plan. And we are getting very close to being able to start this thing. We just have to finish up the fuel lines. I think that's it. Get the exhaust on, obviously, but that's it. And it's pretty much ready to fire. So, all right, that's going to do it for me for this time. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for riding along with me. See ya.